Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It's time for our weekly recap of Sistas. This is season 4, episodes 18 and 19. First 18 was Enemy of Mine, and then 19 was Benefit of the Doubt. Before I get started into this recap review, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. And if you end up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit me with that thumbs up button. All right, y'all. So this review recap is going to be 2 episodes. Like I said, it's going to be episodes 18 and 19. But, I like the show. But it's like every time I watch the show, it keep getting more ridiculous and ridiculous as it goes along. Like, we're going to have a grown-up conversation. And we really need to have a grown-up conversation with Tyler Perry. Because I don't understand what he's trying to do in these episodes. Especially the episode about to come up this week. This Wednesday's episode 20, it should be. I'm not liking where it's going. I'm just not, okay? But in episode 18, let's go ahead and start there, okay? Zach's still upset because, he was still in jail or whatever like that. And Andy was asking questions because remember in episode 17, which I think I labeled 18 by mistake, the DA or whoever that man was, the lawyer, he came in there saying that Zach was going to be doing time. He was still on probation, yada, yada, yada. And then Andy like, what, baby? What's going on? He like, that ain't my baby. And then Andy like, what? Oh my God, what's going on? So he like, look, I don't worry about all that, okay? Because he don't want her all in the information because, she going to transfer the information to the girls or whatever. So he don't want her all in the Kool-Aid and stuff. So, okay. Now, real quick, y'all, I did watch this last week. But, girl, this month been kicking my ass. Okay. So I didn't review it. So if I missed some things, blame it on my mind. I mean, I did take notes, but it's not as clear as this week's or this past Wednesday's episode is because I just watched that one. Because I watched 18 last week sometime. You know what I'm saying? So please forgive me ahead of time. But let's get back to this. So, Andy like, all right, I'm going to make some calls, whatever like that. The team are like, okay, we're going to figure this out. And he like, yeah, that ain't my kid. And she like, whatever. He like, no, I'm telling you. She like, okay. He like, well, every time my life come together, it feel like it's falling apart and all this other stuff. She's like, you know what? I got your back. Okay. I went to jail for you. It's okay. He like, I don't know, woman, help me out. And he all, like, I'm the man. I should be able to help myself. Boy, shut up. If they going to get you out of jail, what is we complaining for? Oh, okay. So even Fatima was like, boy, hush up. Like, ain't nobody got time for all that. She a lawyer. She gonna get you out. So hush your mouth. And she was like, and if we can't get you out, we finna be on the run. He was like, you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. I have not proven myself to you yet. He like, I mean, girl, you is crazy. So then Andy go call Robin, of course, and he says he want to bring up hate and talking about hate and been avoiding him and all this other stuff. And he love making hate and life miserable and yada, yada, yada. And so then he like, well, I can sense something wrong. What's wrong with you? So she was like, how you know? I just left where you can sense something wrong. I'm like, Andy, spit the shit out. Because people in jail, you up here being all flirty and stuff. Ain't nobody got time for that, Andy. So then she finally spit it out. And so then he was like, so let me ask you this. She was like, what? He was like, you sleeping with him? She like, Zach? Am I sleeping with Zach? No, I'm not sleeping with Zach. Like, would that matter if you was going to get him out of jail or not? Like, what's the problem? So then he was like, oh, okay, well, I mean, you going real hard in the paint for some dude that you ain't even sleeping with. Like, he my friend. I trust him. And so he like, oh, okay. But, is he on probation or something like that? And she like, well, that's what the DA said, but I don't know. He says he's not on probation and stuff like that. He was like, all right, well, I'm going to give the DA's, well, no, like, maybe that wasn't a DA. I don't know who that man was. He was some lawyer, okay? Maybe he was hating lawyer. I don't know, child. I don't really care. But he said he going to talk to the DA's daughter because they go way back and stuff. And so Andy was like, well, is you sleeping with her? And he was like, touche. But no, I'm not sleeping with her. She was like, okay. And so then they do this whole cute thing. Anyway, we see Q and Maurice and Calvin. So Calvin wake up. He got a hangover, of course. Maurice in there, throwing jabs at him and stuff. But Calvin don't really remember the night. And Q's trying to give him some, it's like simply orange juice or whatever. It's coming right out the bottle. He like, I don't know, I don't trust it. He just poured it out the, okay. Okay, Calvin. So then he was like, you don't trust. So Maurice was like, you don't trust them, but I saw y'all in my bed last night. He was like, you lying, whatever. So then he shows him the proof, and he was like, well, what you doing? Why you ain't got no shirt on? Why you? And he like, you don't see that bucket of throw up? Like, I was helping you out, dude. Like, it's okay, chill. He was like, what? Why you ain't got no shirt on? Stuff. Like, apparently you must have threw up on him, and he helped you while you was sick and stuff. So my Calvin like, oh, okay, all right, whatever. He goes saunter all into his room and stuff like that. Cause he mad at Q for helping him out, but dude, you needed the help because you was drunk. Like, you lucky he ain't let you aspirate on your goddamn vomit. Like, boy, bye. So anyway, we at the shop with Karen. Okay, Aaron pops up. He say hello to Pam, and you know, hey Aaron, you know how she do. So Aaron went over there because he thought that he had Karen's keys and stuff, and she was like, oh no, these not my keys and stuff. He was like, well, whose keys is they? And so she looked at the keys, and then she was like, oh, okay, I know who keys they are. And he was like, well, who keys is? I'm like, Aaron, put two and two together. Obviously, they Zach's keys, but he want to hear her say they Zach's keys. So that's what she do. She tell him, like, they Zach's keys or whatever. They must have just fell in the cushions, and then you pulled them out thinking they was your keys or whatever. And so he was like, oh, okay. So then he was like, it was like a weird conversation after that, because he was just like, well, how you doing? She was like, well, I'm feeling real sluggish and tired and stuff. And he was like, yeah, that's part of it. I'm like, she barely, okay. She barely pregnant. But he want to see her tonight or whatever. He wants to come over. And she was like, okay, you come over. He was like 7 p.m. She was like, yeah, 7 p.m. With pickles and ice cream. Yeah, with pickles and ice cream and stuff like that. So they doing all that. And so then he finally leave. And then Pam called her. She was like, girl, that man is a fine. And she was like, yeah, I know, whatever. And so she was like, take these keys. She was like, who keys is these? She was like, Zach. She was like, oh, what you want me to do with these? Give them to Zach or whatever like that. But tell him he gonna come here and pick him up. She was like, okay, well, you know where he at? She was like, no. Like, she was like, oh, well, he in jail, girl. She was like, well, he still in jail? Oh, you know about that? Yeah, because he was fighting the dude at the job. Was like, yeah, hating. She was like, girl, if you know all the tea, why you telling me? She was like, well, I just wanted to make sure what you knew or whatever. I was cracking up because you know how him is. So then Karen was like, well, let me know when he get out of jail and stuff. She was like, okay, girl, okay. At the bank, we see the African prince, what is it, Badu? Is it Badu? I don't know. Y'all know his name, child. He drops off some flowers for Bree and stuff like that. He gives her some compliments, and, he said he loved her style, and then she pulls him into the office and was like, well, why didn't you tell me that you was a prince? And he was like, how did you find out about that? She was like, well, I met some people from your country. And he was like, impossible. And she was like, no, for real, I met some people from your country. And, they showed me this article and stuff. He was like, oh my God, well, it don't really mean much over here, but it mean more over there in my country and stuff. And he was like, oh, does this change anything? And she was just like, no, but I just, would have liked for you to have told me and stuff like that. And he was like, well, I understand. So then she thanks him for the flowers, and he like, well, you gotta read the card. So then she go over there, read the card and stuff, and is inviting her out to dinner. So of course she says yes. And then he was like, okay, well, let me either pick you up or get a driver. She was like, well, I can drive myself. He was like, no, let me treat you like a princess. So she finally agreed. You know how they do the whole back and forth. But she finally agreed to getting a driver and stuff like that. And then so, he leaves and stuff. And talking about something, I gotta go feed my camel. She was like, a camel? He was like, no, I'm just joking. And so Maurice was out stalking the window and stuff, peeking all in the window and all that other crap. And then so Maurice was questioning Bree on why he was there, what he doing and stuff. And then he brings up Calvin, and she's like, look, you just need to mind your business and all that. And so he ends up leaving. Danny at the airport, Shorty Cop pops up. He looking all debonair in his little suit and stuff like that. And, she's like, oh, okay, you looking cute. You looking real nice. Okay, hunka. And so in the end, he invited her out to dinner and stuff like that. And so she finally agreed and stuff, and then talk about, go ahead and walk away. He was like, you objectifying my body? She was like, yeah. I thought that was cute. Anyway, Jake rolls up to Zach's house because it's like the next day. Yeah, the sun was out, child. It's the next day. No, I think it was the next day, the whole day. Yes, it was the next day, the whole day. So Jake rolls up. It's a guy standing outside of Zach's house. It's the contractor. He said that Zach owed him $3,500 and he gotta pay his boys and all this other stuff. And I'm like, $3,500? Well, how much is you paying the workers? Like, they ain't getting paid a lot because you talking about I need my cut. I gotta pay for this. I gotta pay. I'm like, that's all y'all charge for $3,500. But whatever, child. Anyway, so he like, and I've been waiting for Zach and yada yada yada. So Jake was like, look, where the invoice at? Let me look at it. So Jake ended up signing off a check and stuff like that and gave it to the contractor. And he like, well, is this real? And all this other stuff. He was like, yeah, it is. He was like, you could have said thank you or whatever. And so then Jake, he ends up calling Andy to find out where Zach is. So Andy, she all suspicious, like, why you calling me and why you need to speak to Zach? Who is you? Like, she asking all these questions, like, how you know him? And you know him through Gary, but how Gary and him, like, you knew that Gary, didn't she already know this because Fatima had told her? Yeah, but I think Fatima had told her, was it Fatima or Karen? One of them had told her that Zach, Gary, Aaron, like all the guys that's on the show, basically minus Preston, play basketball together. So, like, why she acting like she ain't know that Gary knew Zach? Like, girl, what? So, anyway, she ain't end up giving Jake Fatima's number. She was just like, I'll have Fatima call you or whatever like that. So, he was like, all right, bet. So, they hang up. So, then Preston rolls up. He looking for Zach because, of course, he needs some more guidance and stuff like that. So he looking for Zach and Jake and him start talking and he like, no, I don't know where he at. He was like, well, you know how to get in touch with him. Preston's like, I might know somebody who know him, but I really don't want to reach out to that person. Basically talking about Danny. So he was like, man, come on, this is important or whatever. So he was like, all right, whatever. So he calls Danny up. She like, what you want? Preston start asking Danny, like, has she heard from Zach and stuff like that? And she was like, well, he in jail. He was fighting somebody named Hayden and blah, blah, blah. Preston was like, well, is anybody getting him out? And which jail he in? I'm like, y'all only got one jail in there. Stop playing with me. But she like, I don't know. Like, these is questions you need to be asking his girlfriend or whatever like that. And so she was like, well, that's all you called me for? Like, you don't want to talk about nothing else? And he was like, no. So she was just like, all right, whatever. So then they hang up. Preston ends up telling Jake the news, and then Jake like, oh my god, like, how we gonna get him out and all this other stuff. Preston ends up giving Jake his phone number. It was like, well, if you need anything, call me or whatever. So that was that. Robin goes into Andy's office basically to tell her that he leaving and stuff like that, and he tells her that Zach should be out soon and that Andy owes him or whatever like that. So he like, well, he not gonna run or whatever. She was like, well, no. He was like, okay, well, yeah, I heard the same thing from the parole officer. The parole officer was saying like he's a model parolee and all this other stuff, but I couldn't get rid of those assault charges or whatever they'll stand. So she was like, all right, well, I'll go down there to tell him and stuff like that. And so they do a little flirtation thing, and then he goes out and leave. She ends up calling Fatima to, you know, basically tell her that Zach is going to be released. Fatima already at the jail, child. And so she like, all right, well, I'll be down there in a second. Then Robin comes back into Andy's office, is like, oh yeah, I meant to tell you that Hayden got a hold of some federal airport footage. He looking at the airport footage and he been looking at it for hours or whatever. He was like, I don't know what's going on with it, like, but keep it real hush hush. We'll trace his steps and figure out what he been doing because he about to get audited or whatever. And so they was like, all right, well, I hope it get him fired. So Robin was like, oh, I hope so too, because I'm like, dude, anyway. So then we see Aaron. So Aaron goes to Gary's office or whatever. And so just where I had got like confused, because didn't Gary go home? I guess he came back to work, right? To look in the telescope. But it was nothing to see in the telescope because it was daytime, right? And Andy was at work. But then it looked like, if you look out the window, it looked like it was nighttime. And then he was looking through the telescope. So I'm like, well, is Andy home? Is this like the night before and the scene is continuing? Or is this still like another day? Because it looked like it was nighttime. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know. Because am I tripping or is the show just tripping? But anyway, Gary calls, Gary had called Aaron over, to calm him down and stuff like that. And Gary going off, Gary doing Gary pretty much. He like, man, I'm so stupid. Like, I brought her that apartment and like, she over there having sex with dude. Like, that's my apartment. How's she gonna do that? And so Aaron like, well, how do you know that? Man, don't worry about how I know that. Man, like, how do you know that? And so he was like, I could see it through the telescope. He was like, oh my God. And so Aaron like, oh my God, this is some shit right here. So he like, this ain't good, man. This ain't good. Man, I brought her that place. I brought her that car. And Aaron like, yeah, but you brought it for her. So whatever she do with it is her business. Know what I mean? And so he like, man, no. So he mad, man. He like, I love her, man. And that's supposed to be our place together. Our car and stuff. Like, man, come on. And so Aaron like, man, I need you to calm the beat down. Like, you need to calm down or whatever like that. And so he was like, no, I'm about to call her up right now. He was like, no, don't call her up right now. Like, put the phone down. Step away from the phone. Like, chill the beep out or whatever. Man, no. Man, why would she do that to me, man? Why would she do that to me? I'm like, oh, my God. So then at this jail... At the jail, Andy tells Fatima that it's going to be a few hours before Zach get out. And Fatima says, thank Robin for me. Andy all cheesing and stuff. And she like, oh, girl, what's that? She like, well, we'll chat later about that. And so then she said it was a test to see if the place was really hers or whatever. Zach gets out of jail. They hug. They had this pointless dialogue. And then they said they love each other and all this other stuff. We see Hayden, he checking the flight manifest and stuff like that, airport video and whatnot. And then he ends up seeing Zach talking to the senator's wife. I said, ooh. And so he was like, haha, gotcha now. And so then that was the end of episode 18. Let's roll over to episode 19, benefit of the doubt. So we see Zach, he rolled up to his place. And the only reason why I'm just combining it, because like, honestly, it really wasn't too much anything, y'all. So this video about to be a little long, but like whatever. Anyway, Zach ends up asking Jake like, what? Because Jake was still there. Like Jake was just sitting there. Like, did he know he was finna get out? Maybe Preston said he was about to get out, but like you ain't know like what time you was just gonna sit outside the main house. Chaba. But anyway, Jake's still out there, and so then they do this whole back and forth, like, oh man, what you doing here? Like, I was just coming because I had settled the thing with the contractor and stuff like that. He was like, oh, you paid the contractor? He was like, yeah. So then he was like, oh man, let me get you the check. No man, you with your girl, go ahead with your girl. So they do that whole back and forth for this long ass time, and then Jake ends up leaving. And so then he do this whole long dialogue with Fatima to get her into the goddamn house. So they finally get into the house. She opened up her eyes. She's like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I love this or whatever. And so then he gave her a key with a little tiny bow on it. I thought that was cute. I was like, not the little tiny bow. So then he gives her the key and she like, what's this for? A key to your place? Oh my God. And so then he was like, yeah, but I want you to move in with me. She was like, oh no, like we moving too fast. And I'm like, girl, but you was just in jail for this nigga. So now we moving too fast. And then even he said the same thing, like, oh, women want all this other stuff, but then when we give it to him, it's like, oh, you moving too fast. And so then she was like, all right, well, sit down, Zach, sit down. I mean, like, I love you and stuff like that, and I trust you, but this is a big step. I'll go to jail for you, and I'll do it again. And this is a big step, though. He like, so you would go to jail for me, and you would do it again, but you can't move in with me? What? I am confusion. So then she was like, I know, He was like, but that's that ghetto love. I love it. But you moving in. So she was like, no. Okay, I'll move in, but I'm gonna keep my apartment. I said, then you're not really moving in, because then you got like an out in case something happened. Like, just live in the moment. So then he said, bitch, live in the moment. And so then that's what they was going to do. And so then they was going to consummate the house, break in the bed, break in the steps, break in all that other stuff. And so it's the teamer now. I said, oh, okay, boom. Because we've been calling y'all that. But now y'all want to jump on and steal our ID and stuff like that. But whatever, child. Anyway. So then we see Hayden. He all in Andy's office, child. I don't even really know what Hayden was saying. I think he was just telling Andy, like, I know what Robin had did. I know that's your boy. I know y'all sleeping together. I know you got Zach out of jail, and I got a restraining order against Fatima, and she come anywhere up in here, she gonna lose her job, yada, yada, yada. Andy was like, well, look, she could file a claim for hostile work environment and harassment because I know what you've been doing, and I got proof. He was like, you ain't got, I do hate it. Now get your ass out my office. I said, ooh, girl. And so then he leaves out the office. So then Preston, we see him at the bank. He walk into Bree's office and stuff like that, or Bree invited him into her office, and Maurice like, who that white man? Yeah, slight white chocolate. And so he being all nosy and stuff like that. And so then Bree ends up closing the door and stuff. And so Preston ends up telling Bree what he had did. Basically, he got bad advice from Zach, and he been popping up in like her favorite places with other chicks, trying to make her jealous and stuff like that. And then here go Bree, like this place right here. I said, girl, now you know the bank is not her favorite place because she ain't got no money. So anyway, he was like, the bank, her favorite place. I'm messing up, ain't I? I'm doing the wrong thing. Oh man, when I'm going to learn? I wish they like, okay, I get that they trying to make Preston out to be like he don't really know what be going on and stuff like that. But for real, it's getting kind of old. And Preston old enough to know some things. Like, sir, like, get it together. They acting like this is first time, like he a virgin. And this is first time in the world, a black woman. Like, he just, like, no. Like, okay, this is maybe his first time dating a black woman and stuff like that. But she is a woman, period. So, you ain't never date no women? Like, come on now. Like, you just popping up in rando places. You popping up with females. You doing all this other stuff. Like, that ain't a good look at all, Preston. So I wish they like step him up and make him know some things, because this, they making him look stupid. I don't like it. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about Maurice. I mean, not Maurice, Preston, and how they making his role. I don't like it. But anyway, he do all that other stuff. Bree was just like, well, what you fitting to tell me? You basically just need to tell Danny because she really likes you. She really cares about you and stuff like that. And she want to make this work. So go ahead and tell Danny. So he was like, all right, bet. Thank you for your help. So he goes try to leave out the office. Here go Maurice big ass all in the doorway. Not Preston covering up his ding-a-ling to get out the door to get past Maurice fat ass. I said, it's just too much. So, Danny ends up calling Karen to set up like a hair appointment, I guess to style her hair or whatever like that. And so then she ends up calling Danny and telling Danny that Preston popped up at the job and then, you know, he wanted to talk to her and all this other stuff. So she was just like, well, you know, chat with him. And she was like, well, I'm going out with a date with, I'm about to say Stevie Wonder. Jesus. Was a short cop. And so she was like, oh, I'm going out on a date too. And she was like, where you going? They both going to the Olive, so they're going to make it a double date or whatever like that. So, boom, that's it. We see Fatima, she in there cooking Alfredo in this little ass pot. I said, oh, okay. She got the pot that you cook the vegetables in. I said, okay, you cooking some Alfredo. Okay. But anyway, Zach comes up and tells her that he gonna rent out the house beside them, which he had already mentioned that he was gonna rent out the townhouse. But he was basically like, I'm gonna rent out the townhouse, and then that's gonna pay for the mortgage and stuff. And so she was like, oh, you was thinking. And so they look at the stock, and then the stock then went up 30%. She like, look, you need to go ahead and sell that stock because, you know, sell it while you can. And he like, well, I just made about $2 million. And so she was like, but you need to, you know, let that go. So he was like, well, I'll talk to Jake and see what Jake thinks. She was like, I don't trust that dude. I don't trust him. And so he was like, look, he been helping me out. He didn't help me do the FCC thing. He real like legit and stuff like that. So like, I'm gonna talk to him and see what it is. She was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and head out because, you know, it's getting late and I'm tired and stuff. And I'm like, but see, you just make dinner. So why you want to head out? You got 2 plates right there, but you ain't put no food on the plates to eat the dinner. But then you want to head out and go home. So even Zach was like, but what about this dinner? You going to make all this food? You going to leave me here solo? She was like, yeah, because I ain't. He was like, look, just get the clothes out your whole bag, okay? That's in your trunk. She was like, whole bag? I don't know nothing about that. And so he was like, well, I don't know nothing about that either. I don't know about no whole bag. So they do that little back and forth, but he ends up going, no, not he. She ends up going home to get some clothes. She said she'll be back. We see Zach, he ends up calling Jake to stop by to get a check or whatever like that. And then Jake was like, well, I'm close by so I can, you know, stop by, whatever. Andy goes to see Danny, like rando. But she goes to see Danny and she like, oh, you going out? You look real cute. Where you going out to? She was like, well, I'm going out. She was like, you going out with Preston? No. She was like, oh, okay. The trafficking pimp from the airport? She was like, yes, the cop from the airport. Yes, I'm going out with him. She was like, oh, okay, well, you look real cute. And so then they start talking about Preston. And so she was saying like he did a lot of things that she didn't like, but one of the things was his background. And like he came from a racist family, and then he real sheltered, and like it's like he experimenting with her, and she always gotta teach him, and she don't really feel like teaching him, educating him and stuff like that, and she just wants somebody who already know, like especially about hair, like at least he can know about the hair. And then child, while they was talking about the hair, why the camera looked like it was zooming in and it was showing us the line of Danny's wig. I said, now why is the camera so close to show us a line of her wig? Like, they ain't had to do all that. But anyway, she was like, well, let me just give you a different point of view. Like, he's trying to understand it and stuff. She was like, yeah, he's trying to understand it, but it's like, I got to keep teaching him. Like, when he going to take responsibility and learn on his own. And I got that. I felt that. So she was like, okay, I understand that. Touche, I like that. So like he need to research some shit, like look up some stuff or whatever like that. And then if he want to go on dates with other black women, then he need, like, how you want to go on dates with other black women, but you acting like you don't understand Danny? But I mean, who understands Danny? Like for real, because she a little challenging. But anyway, he still need to act, learn some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I felt her on that one. But she knew that he was green. So, like, I don't know what she wants from this man. But anyway, Andy starts talking about Robin, saying like she likes Robin a lot, but he my boss. And she was like, yeah, because that's gonna be an issue. She was like, yeah, that is gonna be an issue or whatever like that. And so she was like, but then I was thinking about Gary as I was heading over here in my Rolls Royce. I was thinking about him and stuff. And she was like, you still love him? I mean, that's not what I said. Like, you do, you still love him. She was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. But I think I want to call him and go out to dinner with him and just see if things change. Like, you think I'm doing something crazy? And she was like, girl, we already talked about this. Like, you already know the answer to your question, so like, why are you playing with me over here? She was like, I mean, you're right. She was like, all right, well, I'm gonna let you go, finish getting cute, okay, have a good day. She was like, yeah, you're gonna call him? And she was like, and then I'm gonna call him, and we just might have a conversation. She was like, oh, okay, girl, enjoy your day too. So then they done. So then we see Pam, she counting the money and stuff like that. She asking Karen, can she get a little cash for the night because she going out, She was like, oh, okay, girl, get some cash out of it. So then Bree rolls up and, they start talking, chit-chatting and stuff like that. Little girl talk. And Bree basically, she said that she likes Val, but she just met him and stuff like that. So she's taking it slow and stuff. And so Bree ends up bringing up Zach and stuff. And so she was like, well, you going to see Aaron tonight? She was like, yeah, but I feel real guilty because it feel like I'm using him sometimes or whatever. And she like, cause last night, like I didn't even want him. I wanted something else or whatever. And so she was like, cause me and Zach was together for 3 years and then it was settled with a check or whatever. And so, Bree like, well, people relationships end, like people move on or whatever like that. She was like, I don't know. Like, he always do this. Like, he always sleeping with other women and then he come back to me. I'm like, girl, this man has moved on. Like, he moved on. Like, he has moved on. Like, he got money now. He doing all the things that he wanted to do in life before. Like, he done bought this new house. He done invited Fatima to live with him. Like, he done moved on. Like, he went to jail for this girl. Like, I don't know, Karen. Like, did he go to jail? Well, I don't know. Like, he was selling stuff. Well, maybe. But it wasn't like he went to jail for her. He went to jail because he was making bad decisions. Like, he actually went to jail because he was fighting for her. You know what I'm saying, y'all? So, like, girl, he moved on. You need to let it go. Let it go. Like, he just needs, yeah. But anyway, she like, I don't think so. So, she like, look, you need to listen to Danny. Like, you don't need to make all these decisions today. Like, you don't got to figure your life out today or whatever like that. But just know that I got you, girl. I got you. She was like, yeah, all right. So then they start styling her head or whatever. So, child, back in Gary's office, okay? So, Gary's still going off, okay? Talking about, man, like, I don't understand how she gonna do that to me, though, man. Like, all that stuff I brought her, like, all that stuff. And Aaron, like, yo, Like, let that go, man. He was like, what you gonna do about it? Man, I want my money back. I want my place back. I want all my shit back. He was like, well, you gave her that stuff. Like, you can't want what you gave somebody, man. Like, that's her stuff now. Like, let that go. And so then the phone started ringing. He like, oh, that's her. He was like, look, you need to breathe. You need to calm down. Relax. Man, Aaron, shut up. Nobody want to try to hear that shit right now. He get on the phone. Hello. Hey, how you doing? She was like, hi, how you doing? Well, I'm just leaving Danny's house and stuff like that. And, I just, just want to meet up. Oh, you want to meet up? Oh, okay. Like, where you want to meet up? That luxurious penthouse suite you gave me. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So, like, what time? Oh, I'm headed there now. Oh, okay. All right. I'll see you later. All right, bye. Okay. She want to meet up, man. He was like, well, where y'all meeting? At that luxurious penthouse suite I brought her, Man, you sure about that? Yeah, I'm good, man. I don't even know why I was tripping. I'm me. What was I tripping for? Shit, I'm Gary. You know what I'm saying? So, shit, you want to meet up at the penthouse? Let's go and meet up at the... He's like, man, like, what had happened before? Like, you sure? Man, I'm good. Look at me. I'm good. I said, oh my God. He was like, but how you get angry and stuff. Man, I'm good. I'm new. I'm changed. I'm Gary. I'm about to head on out because she wasn't going to see me. I said, oh my God. So Andy calls Fatima up and Fatima thanks Andy again or whatever like that. And so then Andy wants to tell Fatima what Hayden is up to or whatever. And she's like, well, he got access to a federal database and he's been looking at airport footage over and over again. She was like, oh my gosh. She was like, well, did Zach get that money illegally? Like, what's going on? And she was like, look, I'm just having Zach call you or whatever. Like, she was like, well, you need to tell me, is it something illegal? She was like, look, everything illegal until you get caught. She was like, well, look, you need to say. She was like, look, girl. And so then her other line beeped, and it was the bellman or whatever telling her that Gary was there. She was just like, bring him on up. Well, then she clicked back to Fatima. She was like, all right, well, do all of that. Have a good night. But, and I'll see you at work tomorrow. She was like, see me at work tomorrow. What Hayden gonna think? She was like, don't worry about Hayden. I got him underneath my thumb. Don't worry about it. See you tomorrow. So she was like, all right, whatever. So Gary get upstairs, child. I don't like Gary. But I need Gary to do better. Okay? Because he's just telling himself. He can't hold water. Like, he's just telling on himself. She like, well, come on, have a seat on the couch where she was just about to get wild and robbing. He like, no. I'm gonna sit over here. I'm gonna sit over here. She was like, okay, all right. You okay? You look a little tense. You need a little massage. No. Because he having flashbacks of her with Robin. So stupid. So he keep having flashbacks of her kissing Robin. She's like, you want a drink? So he having flashbacks of her with Robin giving drinks. He like, no. You know what? No, I gotta go. So then he gets up screaming, no. He started going to the elevator. I say, Gary's so stupid. Like, why would you say you wanted to meet her at the penthouse when she just the other night was about to keep wow with Robin? You knew what was going to happen. Like, you knew you was having flashbacks of her in the bed. That's why you had got that janky ass therapist. Like, dude, like, get your life together. Like, I don't like Gary, but he need to do better. So then Jake, he comes to Zach's house and was like, child, he's still dressed in his damn suit. How long you been home? Like, I know when I come home from work, the first thing I do is take off the work clothes and put on some comfy clothes and be chilling, okay? Like, I'm not still sitting in no suit and tie and some dress shoes. What is we doing? Like, anyway, Zach ends up giving him the check and stuff like that. And so, he was like, well, why are you doing all this for me? He was like, you know how you just meet some people that you just automatically click with and, you feel like you brothers and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah. So they started talking about the stock or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I see the stock. It's been going up. So he was like, yeah, Fatima, she felt like I need to sell it. So he was like, yo, you already know what I'm going to say. He was like, yeah, but what if it keep going up and I'm going to keep making money and stuff? He was like, yeah, what if it don't though? And then you're going to get caught up. And then the way you keep making money off of this stock, the more likely the FCC going to pop in and check it out or whatever. So he was like, all right. He was like, look, give me $1 million and I'm gonna reinvest it. He was like, no, you that kind of brother. Like, He was like, no, seriously. Like, I'll send you some. He was like, well, look, what if your companies go belly up? Then I'm be in the same position that I am before. Like, if I sell it or whatever like that, no, I'm good. He was like, look, I'll just email you some stuff and whatever. He was like, yeah, and then it's gonna go in Gary's business. He was like, no, it'll just go in my business. He was like, well, you underneath Gary business or whatever like that. He was like, because I don't trust dude. And he was like, look, he was like, yeah, I feel you. So then I'm like, damn, Jake, you about to sell Gary out? Like, I thought y'all was homies. So like he looked like he was finna snitch. But then he was like, no, I ain't gonna do that or whatever like that. Just hit me up. I'll talk later. So then he leaves. Then Zach ends up getting this phone call. It's the freaking, well, I'm assuming it was the senator. She was like, you helped me at the airport. And he was like, the girl, not the girl. She was like, he was like, well, I help a lot of people at the airport. She was like, yeah, you don't help a lot of people that made you rich. And so then he was just looking at the phone like, what? Because she was like, well, meet me at the same hotel that you met me at before or whatever. So, and that's how it ended. I don't know if it's her. I don't think it's her. Like, I feel like it's Hayden had some girl on the phone saying like, meet me at the spot where we met before and all that other stuff. Because Hayden now knows that he was talking to the senator or whatever. So it's a setup. So I don't know. If Zach's smart, look, I can't get it out. If Zach's smart, he won't go. But this Tyler Perry, so he might go, child. But anyway, y'all, this week's episode, with Karen going to Zach's house to talk about the baby in the middle of the fucking night, like, see, and it made me cuss. Like, at night to talk about the baby. Gary and Andy doing their whole thing. I guess she gonna tell him she don't want the penthouse no more. And then what else was it? It was a scene. I can't even think of it right now. But it's just like, with Bio talk about he want Danny to come back to. I said, damn, Bree can't win for losing. Like, what in the world? He want multiple wives? Like, if they don't go somewhere with this bullshit. But anyway, y'all, that was episodes 18 and 19. Y'all let me know how y'all felt about them episodes down there in them comments. Again, if you are not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. And if you end up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit me with that thumbs up button. All right, y'all. Until next time. Peace.